Welcome crafty friends, Annie Collins here for Pixie Dust Designs. Today we can create these candy cane holders. Let me go over the dies I'm using. I am using the new Christmas Cane Companion dies. This die set has 34 dies. It cuts 62 pieces and 11 of them are multiple cuts dies, like Santa, the buttons, the eyes and such. The elves, you can create a boy elf and a girl elf and you have all these accessories for them. All of them use that one little shape for the head, and the rest are the candy cane components. Like I said, 11 of these cut multiple, so you have your eyes, your nose, Santa's pieces, the reindeer's antlers and ears cut on multiple, and the elves' ears cut multiples. You can choose the candy cane holder, just a holder, or a little box holder. I'll show you all the things. Let's get into starting here. We're going to start with a reindeer. I'm going to grab all the pieces I need. You need this one piece. Here's the main body. And here's his little face. Now I cut two. I will explain that to you in a second. You don't have to, but I'll explain it to you in a second. And then I have the antlers, both the ears, his nose. These are the scarf pieces. That's the rest of his little head there. All right, and there's his eyes. And I seem to have lost his mouth. I will find it off screen and place it on here. So you'll need two pieces for the eyes as usual. And then this is the portion here that's supposed to represent their bodies. These pieces here are the candy cane holder. It looks like a little buckle. And then you get these two other little strips. And it's super easy. I'll explain how easy it is to attach. So I'm going to set this to the side for a second. And let's start building his little face. Let me move his scarf. Also comes in two pieces. There you go. You can cut this out of cardstock. You can cut it out of pattern paper. It's up to you. And I've inked all my edges off screen. The green with some green and the red with some red and some nice brown tones on my deer's body, ears and such. For his eyes, you get two pieces. You have the white, which you layer the black or whatever color you prefer, and on top of it. It has little holes to indicate highlights in the eyes. They're hard to see because they're so tiny, but you can emphasize them more if you like with a white gel pen. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this on top. There's that little arch piece that deers have. So I cut that from the same color as the body as well as the ears. Now I'm going to attach his nose, and I put a little red ink on the top so that it looks more red. And I'm going to place that there. As you can see, I'm making Rudolph with his red nose. But you can make them all have regular colored darker noses. You don't have to create a Rudolph if you do not prefer. So I'm going to put his eyes there, line them up, and his face is starting to come together. Now I have to attach his ears and his antlers. So the ears have a flat end and a pointy end. You adhere the flat end to the head like so, and then the pointy end goes out. And just quickly, and I do it from behind. I think it looks best this way. For the antlers, I just put a little dot of glue, and then I just again place it from behind, adjusting how I want them to be. There we go. Press them, give them a second to catch, and you're all set. Again, the long part is supposed to represent his body, but I'm going to put this little piece here to coordinate with his scarf. So I have it in green. I cut up the same color green that I did his scarf. I'm just cleaning off the excess glue. So now it coordinates nicely. Now to adhere his head, I just put a little bit of glue on the top here, place his little head down, and then we're going to attach the scarf. Now you can tuck the scarf under, over. I'm looking for his mouth. I misplaced it. I will glue it on. You'll see it in the final picture, but just adhere it. You can tuck his head over or under. It's up to you. I preferred the scarf to be over. And this piece you can pop up or you can just adhere it flat. I chose flat because I'm handing this to children and it's, best for it to be flat. Now I cut a piece of the same tan, I should say, cardstock that I did his body and his accent pieces to cover the back so it looks neater. This is optional. You don't have to do this. I just think it looks much neater. All right, for the little candy cane holder, I took those two little strips and I wrapped them around a piece of, I'm using my pokey tool here. You can use whatever, a pencil. And I make sure they were even, and then I pinched it and folded it so that I get a little piece that looks like this. It actually looks like the letter omega, the Greek letter omega. That's what you want. So now I'm going to repeat the process. I'm just curving this a little bit, and you do it for both. Now you flip that little piece that looks like a buckle to the back is facing you, and you slide those little omega little pieces or strips of paper on through. You put a little bit of glue right there on the edge, and you adhere those little strips on one end. Hold it till it takes, and then you repeat the process on the other side. Now, be a little more careful than I was. I didn't even make sure they were even, so I'm gonna have to do a little cleanup. Just make sure they're even. The edge of those little strips is even with that little buckle looking piece. I tried to adjust it here, but it's already set, the glue. And that's where you would place your candy cane. Let me grab my pen so you can see this is about the same size as a candy cane. You just slide it through and it holds your candy cane in place. So all you do now is you adhere this, just put all around the edge like so, and you adhere it to the back of the body of your little critter here. Critter here being the reindeer. Now you can choose this option for your candy canes, or the other option, which is the little box, which I'll show you in a second. So here's our finished reindeer. Next, we're going to create Mrs. Claus. For Mrs. Claus, here's what she's going to look like. She's so cute. Her little face is adorable. I'm going to put the little box option. So I'm bringing in all the pieces for Mrs. Claus. She's also very super easy. Now I already adhered her eyes together just to save us some time, but it's the same thing. The whites are cut out for you. It's all one die. You get like 3 of the different shapes of eyes and 3 of the toppers. For her hair are 2 pieces, and I went ahead and used my Copic marker just to add a little highlights and little details to her hair, just following the indentation lines that were already placed there. I inked the edges with a soft pinky tone so that she has nice coloration to her face. And you're just going to adhere. I'm putting it as close to the edge here so that just the edges that are touching her face, the head, will stay. So the top of the hair won't have any glue. So next I'm going to adhere the glasses. I find that it's easier to put the glasses and then drop the eyes within the glasses. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere her glasses like so. I'm using some nice fine tip tweezers, they help, and an embellishment wand. These are essentials when dealing with small pieces like this. So I'm going to put her eye one in there, and then I can adjust as needed to make sure they're centered on her glasses. Here we go. She's already coming together so quickly. Now I chose a little nose for her. There are little noses and mouths, and then there's a bigger nose and an even bigger one. So the biggest is for, for the deer, if you're going to make a deer. And then there's a mid-sized nose, which you can use for Santa, for Mrs. Claus, and for the elves. And then there's small ones. I chose the smallest because I thought she needed a little small, cute, dainty face. Now for the body, you can choose this design that gives you this little stripey, which I thought would be cute. Give her more of that candy cane dress for Mrs. Claus. You can use this and cut it out of green and such for your elves. Now you can leave the tip white, which would coordinate nicely, but I wanted it to be red so that she's all in a red outfit like so. So I'm going to go ahead and place that there. Now we need to adhere her head and her collar to the little body area. So put her head on here. I want it to be straight. I mean, you can tilt it to the side for a little cutesy look, but I wanted it to be straight. Here's her collar. I'm going to lift her little chin up here in a second and tuck her collar underneath. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, just to make it look more like it's her dress. There we go. I'll place 3 little dots of glue in a row here, and that's for her buttons. Her buttons and her glasses I cut from shimmer gold cardstock. You can cut this from any color you prefer. All right, so get her last button there. Make sure everybody's straight as possible. And we're going to set this to the side and work on the box backing. So for the box backing, this cuts one entire piece, and there are indication fold lines here, and you're just going to fold them into itself like so. You can reinforce them with your bone folder if you would like. I'm going to ink the edges because I inked the edges to everything else on her, and I want it to look the same. On just the outer part, these inner pieces don't need to be inked. These are the pieces that will create the little box. There's a tiny little tab in there. Fold it inward and then continue to fold the rest of the pieces. Again, you can reinforce this with your bone folder. I found that if I just pushed on it and creased it several times, it held its shape. So you're going to start by, before we do that, I'm going to put a little piece of tear tape on mine because I'll be filling this later. I'm not going to fill this one with a candy cane. I'm filling it with mini M&Ms because I'm giving this to my granddaughter and she doesn't like candy canes. So I figured I'll just fill it with mini M&Ms. So I want to have a closure. So I'm going to put that there. All right, so there's that little tiny tab right there. You're going to put adhesive on it and you're going to adhere it to the side walls, the side piece, like so. You're just going to hold it and then you're going to put a little bit of adhesive on the other one and repeat the process. You're basically going to glue that to this little side area right there and just give it a hold. Give it a second to catch. Next, you will adhere these pieces. You fold them up and you put glue on those. And I'll put more glue than I did. You'll see, I'll realize I need more glue. Just put enough glue for yourself. Don't struggle like I did. All right, so I'm going to put glue here and then I'm going to hold it in place. You fold them all in, hold it in place. And this is when I realized, as soon as I move this here, that I don't have enough glue. You can also use your pokey tool, your bone folder, a pencil, whatever it is, to push on the little tabs so that make sure that they hold. I pushed on them, and that's when I realized I don't have enough glue to hold them down, so I had to put more glue. Now I'm going to use the pokey tool again to make sure the ends catch. And then I realized my bottoms didn't catch, so I need to put more glue and squeeze them and hold them. So I squeeze them together and then hold it together. Hold it like so. It's an easy fix if you didn't get enough glue on it. That's the good part. But just try to get enough glue from the beginning and if you won't have to fuss with it as much as I do. Okay, so now you can see I can fill it. You could put your candy cane like that. That's why it's made like a little pocket. You can put money in there if you would prefer. It's up to you. I again cut another little piece that coordinated with her outfit to get a nice clean finish on the back. Optional, not necessary. It also reinforces the heads, I feel. And now they're done. So you can have different ways to place your candy cane in there. For me, I'm going to remove the little tab to expose the adhesive after filling it with candy canes, push in the end, pinch it, and now it'll be closed with M&Ms. But you can place money rolled up in the back, candy canes, lots of plenty of options. Here's a look at Mrs. Claus. And again, we use the Christmas Cane Companions dies. You get everything here to make Santa, Mrs. Claus, a boy elf, a girl elf, and a reindeer. You have two types of holders for your candy canes, and all the accessories intermatch easily. You get 32 dies. It cuts 62 pieces because 11 of those dies cut 11. 11 of those dies cut multiples. I'll have this link for you in the description box below. I hope you found some inspiration. Here's another look at our candy cane holders. Thank you.